With the highest accuracy but the lowest word count, what is permaculture? They say you should never start a story with a dream, but what if your story begins with a psychedelic water buffalo guarding the way to the glorious golden pyramids of Thailand? Is that Bangkok's skyline in the distance? Surely I would have heard of this place, and there's no way something this spectacular is hosting a farmer's market. Well, I've been in Thailand long enough now to expect the unexpected, and today I'm here with the Committee for the International Permaculture Convergence, or IPC. Our mission, to convince the minds behind this spectacle to officially partner with us and help us bring a global event to Thailand. My role in these high-level negotiations was purely strategic. I was the pasty-faced eye candy. Nailed it. With my contribution in the bag, the real experts leading the charge were Michael Commons and Neil Willman, two Farang who, like me, had found a home here, but as Michael was quick to point out, this wasn't really about us.
So here we are, we've chosen and connected with this location, and Neil and I, we're in Thai we call Farang, which just means we're Westerners. But this is a Thai movement, and this is a really leading center here.
They were here to forge a partnership and connect the permaculture movement with the heart of Thailand's agricultural establishment.
It's already a place where there's a lot of knowledge just walking around. We want to partner. And I think we already have interest. So as a movement, we're from the Permaculture Network in Thailand, but this will be to connect. And then for the event, particularly the conference, that it will be co-organized and co-created by actually this partnership between the museum itself, the Farmer Network, and then the Thai permaculture movement.
Okay, that's a lot of different factions. We need a way to keep track. First, the Permaculture Network, a troupe of well-meaning nature nerds.
It's me.
Trying to throw a global party that's been happening every few years since July 1984. I didn't attend that first one, as I wouldn't be born for another few months.
Hello.
Which would have made me similar in size and IQ to an avocado. Then you have the hosts, the staff from the Golden Jubilee Museum of Agriculture, aka Wisdom King Farm. And third, maybe most importantly, representatives of the Thai Farmers Network. 3 different groups, 2 different cultures, but one shared philosophy.
In the Thai movement, we don't tend to use the word permaculture, but the whole philosophy is really the same. My wife is part of a movement we call Wanakaset, which is a forest gardening movement and self-reliance. And for anyone who knows of like food forests and so forth, it's this but coming from a Thai cultural perspective. We want this to be officially a co-hosted and co-organized event, which will mean we'll have a lot more support. It means we can make it a lot more affordable for people to join, and we can bring a whole lot more of the Thai movement in easily.
The final point was key. Include the actual farmers, lower the costs, and widen Thai participation. There's not much use talking about sustainability if we can't find ways to turn it into meaningful action. It was vital the negotiations back in the boardroom were a success. Sitting underneath the watchful eyes of the royal portraits, with Team Permaculture on one side and the museum staff and Farmers Network on the other, we all gave our introductions.
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อคริสมาจากประเทศอังกฤษผมอยู่จังหวัดศรีสะเกษผมมาช่วย promote.
Beyond being handsome and charming, it seems I somehow provided comic relief. I probably said something in the wrong tone. With my work done, Michael, fluent in Thai, presented the pitch. Eventually, they agreed to co-organise and present the event, but it came with one condition. In my experience, when someone says one condition, it usually involves an uncomfortably long handshake and a vague promise of future favours. But this one condition was far more pleasant.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello.
The original plan for the conference was a 2-day event. The Farmers Network simply requested that we add a 3rd day, giving them the chance to properly showcase everything they're doing. This poses a few questions about logistics and budget, but all in all, it's better than anyone expected. As is custom, we all posed for photos and merrily went on our way. Michael, buzzing with the success, pulled me aside.
But that's good news though, right?
Yeah, I think more than expected, or at least like the most optimal expectations. So there's also like a marketplace that's held, and that'll be part of the event, the marketplace, and there are farmers all around who are practicing sustainable ecological methods and crops, and so people can enjoy the marketplace, buy goods, and also interact with the farmers.
With the deal done, the hard part was over. But to try and get a better understanding of who we'd just partnered with, they told me to come back the following day and get a full guided tour. In preparation, I wanted to make sure I knew exactly who we were. I'll admit, over the last 5 years, I've had a bit of trouble giving permaculture a clear definition. So, as I'm now sitting with the experts, let's very quickly get that out of the way.
For people that have never heard of it, with the highest accuracy but the lowest word count, what is permaculture?
Essentially, there's a lot of different views about what permaculture is. There is a large number of people who would say permaculture is different things for different people. Whether that's right or wrong maybe depends on the person listening to it. So I would say when there are people doing things and they're doing it in a way that is in harmony with nature, that particular practice is according to the same ethics that we have in permaculture, which is care for the earth, care for people, and a fair share or redistribute surplus, something along those lines. That exists not because no one ever thought of it, but because when the co-originators of permaculture considered an ethical way, they looked at examples in society which included, for example, traditional wisdom. And then as far as design processes are concerned, permaculture is almost always broken down into some set of principles. There's many principles that exist out there. David Holmgren has principles, Bill Mollison has principles, Ro Morrow has principles, Toby Hemingway has principles. They're similar but different. And these are guiding ideas about how to put elements together in a way that are ecologically sound. Anybody can do that. A farmer that has never heard of anything can say it makes more sense to put this thing here near this thing than it does to put it way over there. So this is kind of the universal nature of this type of ecological system design. It's going to happen anywhere for anybody who is consciously making a decision. So to answer your question, it's about conscious design according to ethics and possibly using principles so that you get food, energy, shelter, water, and other needs. That's it.
Yeah. Hi.
All right, that was not the quickest, I think, answer, but
No,
a very good one.
Okay, cards on the table. What sounds like a simple question, what is permaculture, is more complicated than it seems. But we're living in a world of increasingly complicated problems masquerading as simple questions. I see them online all the time, benign little questions that are actually quite terrifying. Hey, just wondering, is it okay to visit Thailand during burning season? I'm sorry, burning season? How did we get to a place where that's a normal question? A few days later, I saw this painting on display at the Bangkok Art and Culture Centre. The artist described it as being inspired by the quiet transformations of daily life. Behaviours once regarded as unfamiliar or strange, when repeated, gradually weave themselves into the fabric of society, shaping what comes to be accepted as the new normal. Our current new normal has already become so absurd that we can say burning season with a straight face. Seriously, what's coming next? Hey, what's an affordable hazmat suit that's still business casual? So, as grassroots movements like permaculture spread and evolve, they inevitably start to mean different things to different people. But if the thing we have in common is a belief that the current systems are broken, then we should probably, quite quickly, start designing new systems.
I would say that most of permaculture developed off of learning from traditional wisdom of, again, ways that are good and in balance with nature, good for society, and so forth. For me, the key difference with permaculture, and this is what is the most value for the Thai movement, is that it's a conscious design process.
If Neil's 307-word answer sounded a little bit political, maybe it's more about staying impartial for the bigger goal. Is it possible flexibility in the definition of permaculture is a good thing?
I would say it's positive. I know that there are people who think it's not good to let it deviate from certain things. They may have a point about that, but that point should be resolved by them involving themselves in discussions with the other people. It's not something that is owned. I have frequently heard people like Romoro and David Holmgren say, well, it's such a new thing. We don't even know what it is yet. And they're saying that, quite a long time after it has existed. So they recognize that it's going to be in transition for quite some time.
A very thoughtful answer. Naturally, I kept pestering him for a one-liner anyway. Eventually, he pointed me in the direction of this book, although I'd have to buy my own copy, as this one was personally signed by David Holmgren. So far, I've read the first half of the first sentence. Permaculture is a design system for sustainable living and land use. Neil says add one word, conscious, and call that a working definition. Nice, thank you. That's enough to start connecting dots with Thailand's own movement. In Thailand, a parallel philosophy has existed for decades, championed by a remarkable man, King Bhumibol Adulyadej. When people accused him of playing politics, this is how he responded.
When I'm going out to look on the site of a small dam, or asking the people if they have had enough to eat this morning, I'm beginning to play politics. I'm accused of playing politics. We keep in the middle, neutral, and in peaceful coexistence with everybody. That is the way of doing it. We are in the middle. We could be crushed by both sides, but we are impartial.
The king dedicated his life to improving people's lives with simple, durable solutions, and his legacy was defined by a life on the road. Here's one symbol here in the museum, his very own 1967 Plymouth Fury. As a prince, he spent his childhood in Switzerland, attending a school that intentionally gave him no special treatment. This profoundly influenced his later preference for humility, and it was also where his love of cars began. His first car was a tiny Fiat 500, and that simple car would change his life and the future of Thailand forever. In 1948, at just 21, he crashed it into the back of a truck. The accident was severe, costing him his right eye. During his recovery, he was visited constantly by a young woman named Sirikit, the future queen of Thailand.
She wants to have her photograph taken with the royal family and printed in newspaper. And please send her newspaper because she don't have money to buy it.
Their bond, which would stabilise a nation for 70 years, was forged in the aftermath of this crash, and they married just 2 years later. That experience seemed to shape his entire reign. His passion for mechanics became a philosophy. When he dedicated himself to developing his nation, the luxury cars were replaced by workhorses. He became famous for getting behind the wheel of his Land Rover or Jeep, driving deep into the countryside to places other leaders never saw.
They seem to be very impressed with your geographical knowledge.
Oh, because they are very happy when somebody comes and knows about their village.
But you go everywhere with this map, I notice. It never, not this particular one, but
Yes,
there
yes,
is never
one.
a map from your hand.
I try to have a map so that I know where I'm going. And they are happy when they know that the official map is, the village is on their map.
Are there some occasions when people live in villages that aren't marked on your map or that have the wrong name?
Well, that is what happened now.
What is what happened?
There's a village that has no name, and I put a name on it.
This was a king that saw the people and literally put them on the map. Even when there was conflict, rather than aggression, his solutions invariably tried to solve the root cause.
You're saying that this is evidence that you're winning?
Winning against what?
Communist insurgency.
Oh, I don't know. But we are winning against hunger. This is what we are doing. We are not fighting against people. We are fighting against hunger. We want to have them have a better life. If we make this and they have a better life, the people you call communist insurgent will have a better life also. So everybody is happy.
Eventually, this idea became known as sufficiency economy philosophy, and it shares a remarkable amount of DNA with permaculture.
There's quite a lot of overlap, not just Wanakaset, but also many, many other things that happen here in Thailand with sufficiency economy.
It's an honor and maybe a fortune that Thailand has been passed the host. Thailand has a really, I would say, really amazing movement, and I'd say more support than almost any other country for this. That's why we call it Wisdom King Farm, because particularly in the leadership of King Rama IX, the prior king, he actually promoted this. And you have really great examples of swales. You have great examples of check dams. You have examples of what we would call banana circles, but Thai-style banana circles. You have many different systems.
And that is where the King's story had a huge influence on my own. I started in 2020 with a permaculture course up in the mountains of Nan. I returned to the flatlands of Isaan and realised I had to adapt. I had to find the local wisdom. That's when I was first told about the Khok Nong model. This model is one example of what the King called New Theory Agriculture, the practical arm of his sufficiency economy philosophy. You divide the land into a 30-30-30-10 split for water, rice, mixed crops and a home. The goals are simple: first, store water; second, feed your family; third, diversify your income. But here's where Michael's earlier point lands. What permaculture aims to bring is the lens of conscious design. Observe first, then adapt the pattern. 30-30-30-10 is a great starting map, but a map isn't the terrain. What if you live next to the beach with sandy soil and salt spray? The pattern must adapt. But the brilliant part is, this idea of adaptation was never a foreign concept. It was built into the King's philosophy from the very beginning. His sufficiency economy literally says decisions must be moderate, reasonable and knowledge guided, applied to your own conditions.
สำหรับพิพิธภัณฑ์การเกษตรเฉลิมพระเกียรติพระบาทสมเด็จพระเจ้าอยู่หัวนะคะที่นี่เองนะคะก็ถือว่าเป็นแรงบันดาลใจของหลายๆคนหรือว่าใครที่จะเริ่มต้นในทำภาคการเกษตรหรือว่ายังไม่แน่ใจว่าจะเริ่มจากที่ไหนนะคะก็ขอเชิญชวนนะให้มาเที่ยวที่นี่ได้นะเพราะว่าที่นี่นะคะเรามีทางนิทรรศการภายในอาคารค่ะพิพิธภัณฑ์ในอาคารนะคะก็จะพูดถึงค่ะเรื่องราวนะของพระมหากษัตริย์ไทยซึ่งพระองค์ท่านได้มีหลักการทรงงานทั้งหมด27ข้อไม่ว่าจะเป็นหลักคิดหลักธรรมหลักปฏิบัติค่ะซึ่งทุกคนค่ะสามารถเข้ามาเรียนรู้แล้วเอาไปประยุกต์ให้สอดคล้องได้
At their core, these development principles and permaculture are pointing to the same truth: conscious design guided by ethics.
These three ethics: is it good for the earth? Is it good for humanity? And does it share? Provide for the future and so forth? Any system, if you can do those three things, then we can say it's permaculture, but it's actually learning how to design, thinking where we put things in relationship, like plants that support each other. There's a plant right here that has small fruiting berries. So a lot of Thai people in the movement, they use this tree in different ways. It's one of the most popular trees for attracting birds. We can plant this tree to help build a forest. Why? Because when you bring birds and bats, they will also bring seeds with them. This will go quickly and they will plant seeds for us. And then I have a farmer who I knew, he's passed away, and this is how he planted chilies. Because birds eat chilies, they're not spicy, and they'll come here and they will poop, and then there'll be wild chili plants growing underneath it. Bees, pollinators, like it a lot, and it produces flowers year-round. So I'm very conscious now in trying to support pollinators. This one basically never stops blooming, never stops producing fruit. So this is kind of a permaculture understanding from a Thai point of view.
It also, the flavor of the berry is exactly the same as a Captain Crunch berry. Exactly the same.
So this might be kind of crazy, but this is sort of like the whole thing. And at least in the Thai movement, it's not just about design. It's also a lot about, Wanakaset particularly, we really want to learn about the values of things. We see this one tree. We've already described quite a lot of really interesting benefits from it. And somebody understands that can then, it has a lot more value.
It's really no coincidence that we just happened to be sitting next to a perfect example of integrating plants into a well-thought-out design. We could have been sitting anywhere. The examples were all over the place. The rest of the day, Michael and Neil enthusiastically pointed out more and more great examples.
This is long pepper, and this is a tree, and they're integrating it directly on the tree.
Then the following day, my own tour continued through the museum's own on-site Khok Nong Na model.
Okay.
With low-cost engineering solutions and dozens of other features to distract me. I won't show you everything, there was far too much. But I can't resist bringing up one topic: cinema. On the ground floor of the main building is a 3D cinema with 10 educational films to teach kids about sustainability. If that's not enough, how about a 360 cinema to learn about soil? The second cinema was in the soil biology building. As I entered into the dark, underneath the roots of trees and met characters like Mr. Worm, my priorities in life changed in front of my eyes. Forget building a homestay, I need to master some natural building techniques to create my own nature-themed home cinema. It's all about priorities. First, a straw bale IMAX, then food security. This Thai cartoon with English subtitles was the high-stakes story of a young boy in a fight against his nemesis, acidic soil. He sends his minions to smash the soil into compaction, throw salt all over the land, and, well, I don't want to spoil the ending, but let's just say, if the online soil biology course I was taking was half as fun as this, I wouldn't still be procrastinating in getting it finished. There's so many more things to show you around this museum, but I'd just recommend you come and see it for yourselves. Even better, join us at the IPC and we'll explore it together. I suppose I should pay some attention to the practicalities of the IPC. This is where the main event will happen, a conference hall capable of holding up to 500 people. And during the conference, there will be lots of smaller workshops split into groups, and there are rooms all over the place ready to cater for this. On top of that, you can stay right here. There are hotels nearby, or a limited number of private rooms for rent, but for the full Thai farmer training experience, join us in the on-site dormitories for 200 baht a night. A true test of your fair share principles. With 9 beds in this room, I can only assume it's a highly competitive situation for the 2 power outlets. I'm already planning to rent out a selection of extension leads to cover my own accommodation costs. I just wonder how many phones we can charge at one time without blowing the electrics for the entire building. Nothing tests the core principles of a grassroots utopian movement quite like low battery and no Wi-Fi. The website is live and you can join the mailing list to get updates. If you visit the site and it's still lacking in details, apologies. Making videos is much more fun than making websites. More info coming soon. For me, visiting this place was like finding another piece of a puzzle where I still can't see the overall picture. On our own farm, I've been trying to find this middle ground between permaculture and Thailand's sufficiency economy, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. I've mostly been driven by a gut feeling that the way we're currently doing things isn't working. There must be a better way. And the best part of all of this is realizing I'm not the only one.
Today is 13 October. It means the day that our King Rama have passed away, and also today we have make merit for our King Rama.
The further I delve into it, the more amazing people I meet who are all wrestling with the same idea. We have different labels and definitions, and that's fine. The reassuring part is being surrounded by people who want to do something good.
If you ask me what I had in mind, what the plan I had no plan. Just like I'm today, we are going to have something and we are going to do it. We don't know what the something is, but we are going to do something that is good. That is the plan or the spirit.
We're really excited. I think this is going to be really very cool, and we would love people to join and bring their wisdom and their energy, and I think we have a lot of work to do in this world. It can be very, very traumatic seeing all of the things going on, but at the same time there's all sorts of amazing seeds that are already growing very well. I feel like we need to consciously make kind of collective design decisions. So not just our own thing, like what is the world we want to live in? And I think we can create that. If we just allow ourselves to be blown around like we're not holding the sails in a sailboat and we're just luffing about, I don't know where we'll go. But if we do have wind, but if we actually use our sails, we can direct where we go and build a very lovely and abundant world for the future generations, children, grandchildren, and that's what I would like to leave. I don't want my children or grandchildren to not be able to see butterflies or coral reefs. I mean, Thailand, I think we've probably got 500 different fruits and vegetables we eat. There's an incredible world. I mean, that's just a world of flavor, of color. That's what creates our culture. Every place has that ability to kind of take that richness, and I think that's the richness of humanity and nature, and I think we should all be able to enjoy that, and we should protect that and build on that and leave a more abundant future for the generations to come.
Our future isn't set in stone. Well, some of it might be. The coastal property market will probably face increasing liquidity issues, but we still have time to make a choice to reject the new normals that thrive on our collective apathy. Instead, we can come together and design a new kind of future. In these challenging times, what type of legacy do we choose to leave? With the recent passing of Queen Sirikit, her own words spoken in that same BBC documentary almost 50 years ago feel more powerful than ever. With the deepest respect, she has the final word.
At first, I was very much afraid of death. But later on, I met a great teacher, a monk, who told me never to be afraid of death because it's natural occurrence. If you have good intention towards the others and you have done all you can do for your country and for human beings, even if you died, your soul or spirit or mind will be in peace